Hello everyone, KJ4YZI. I want to talk a little bit with you about radios. This may go on a rant for a little bit, but radios, ham radio, the core aspect of the ham radio hobby is the ham radio, which is a radio that transmits and receives on the ham bands that you could talk globally with people all across the world who are also using a ham radio, which is a radio transmitting and receiving on ham bands. Where am I taking that statement? Well, we know in 2026 and what we've seen, the manufacturers are guilty of it. The distributors are guilty of it, like Gigaparts and other ones, and social media influence. There's a huge pressure to people in the hobby with stuff in your face like this, whether it be at a ham fest or a YouTube review or whatever. This is not picking anybody. It's the general consensus here, making you feel like you have to spend that kind of money and you have to have the latest and greatest in order to continue in this hobby, okay? You can't tell me I'm wrong, because I can debunk any theory about why you can do the same thing and talk to a lot of the people on almost the same exact modes with a radio that's 7, 8, 9 years old, or even a radio that's 20 years old, instead of having to constantly jump to the brand new radio that's being promoted, okay? And I can tell you this, it aggravates me, because I talk to these people all the time on ham radio, and I could hear, I'm not mean to them at all, trust me, these videos, if you see me and I seem like I'm angry, I'm not. I gotta get a point across, because YouTube it's on there. I mean, I could show you the documentation. Unless I have something that draws attention and a good point, the algorithms are going to put my videos in the toilet. And that's why my YouTube channel is failing slowly but surely, because I refuse to do beware stupid thumbnails and stuff like that. People do that, and that's what YouTube said. And when I didn't do that, and I continued to do my mediocre stuff with a cell phone here, that's when everything went downhill. But I'm not chasing that. So what I'm trying to get at is this. I talk to these people all the time, and I mean, the comments that I got when that radio arrived at my desk, I bought that used from Gigaparts on their pre-certified, pre-owned used equipment for $800, because I sold everything I had when I bought this house 5.5 years ago. Sold my 9700, sold my 7300, sold everything. Kept the 705, I used that QRP, but anyways, the comments that came in said, Eric, why in the world would you waste your money on buying the old model when the new one's coming out and it's got all this and it's like $600 more? Why do I need that? Do you understand? There are options that they put in that radio, but I have no interest. I could work the entire planet Earth from that radio on that desk right now. I don't need to spend $1,500. Icon may not like that statement, but whatever. I'm trying to get more into the hobby and tell you guys the truth and the facts and how this really works before you go broke with these constant reminders that the 5200 is coming. And people on D-Star 30 Charlie keep asking me, oh, you're on the 5100, when are you getting the 5200? I can't wait. When it's out, I'm buying it right away. And what I do is I throw it right back to them. Why? Educate me. Tell me why you want the 5200. And there's no real viable excuse other than it's new, and this is what they think is going to keep them moving in the future in the hobby. I'm going to ride that 5100 till the wheels fall off. That's my second one. I have no interest in changing that radio. I could talk to all the 5200s. I could talk to people with ID 50 handhelds and 52 plus handhelds. I don't need a 5200. And when I do need one, by the time I want one, it's going to be an ID 5600 out there. Great. Okay. The 5100, like the 7100 I have in my truck. Do you know how many people comment and email and tell me on the air? They see my videos when I'm using it. You know, I'm on 17 meters and I'm in the Keys. I'm parked in the water at lunch and I'm showing my 7100. I make contacts. The comments come in and they're like, dude, you got to upgrade that radio. There's so many more. No, dude, I don't have to do shit. I mean, that radio, I've worked more countries and stations than half of those people that tell me that I need to upgrade it. They sit there and they spin. Oh, I don't see anything on the scope. Bands must be dead. They shut it off. They're on the couch watching UFC because they feel, unless they see dots and signals on that scope, that they're not going to work. So then they get a radio with the scope. And give it a couple years, they don't know how to use a radio without a scope. Okay? I use this 736 Yaesu I bought on eBay. It's got 6 meters, 2 meters, 70 centimeters, and 23 centimeters, 1.2 gigahertz. I'm bouncing signals off the surface of the moon to somebody in Russia named Dmitry with 50 watts, with an amplifier, and a single Yagi using this radio. There is no scope. I don't need a scope, right? Do you get my drift? The Kenwood D74, this radio is cool. I can't say I turn it on. I use it once in a while. I bought it for 300 bucks on eBay because the new one was coming out. Everybody went and sold their 74 to buy a 75. Now ask yourself this question. Are you going to use the features that are implemented in the future upgrade, right? This does everything I need. It will do D-Star. I don't use it for D-Star. It'll do APRS. I could work satellites with it. I could talk to the space station with it. I could communicate on analog FM repeaters. I could use it with a hotspot. That's all I need. And I don't even turn the thing on, right? Here's another one. The 52. Dude, just go on D-Star for like 3 days. Just monitor 3 days. You're going to hear, oh, well, I got the 52. I'm going to get the 52 plus. What do you need the plus for? Tell me a valid reason you need the plus. And if you can afford it, and that's something you want in the hobby, go for it, bro. But don't sound like, uh-oh, I just bought, I love this one. I just bought the 5100. Now I got to buy a 5200. No, you don't. Do you understand? Why would they think that? Back in the day, you got a catalog. You looked through the catalog. AES in Orlando, or Ham Radio Outlet. You looked at what was there and you could say, well, okay, cool, you know, I'm going to buy my next radio. There was nobody pushing and drilling into your head that that's going to be what you have to get. And if anybody ever tells you you're going to be left behind, don't ever buy from that manufacturer. Don't ever watch that person. Don't ever listen to what they got to say. They're making these radios that are also, do you think ICOM would make a radio that's going to shut out everybody except if you have a 5200? Again, if your answer was yes, you got to go back and start over in the ham radio hobby, because that's just your actions and your opinions generate ideas for other people when you're talking on the radio. They may not know. There's a lot of listeners out there. That video's coming too. There are a ton of listeners that are afraid to get on the air, and I'm going to address that in the next video. You're going to love it. But anyways, I'm happy with my 7300. I'm happy with my 52. I'm happy with my 74. I'm happy with my Cobra 29 LTD Classic. If I have a President Washington 10-meter radio in that truck that I modified for 11 and it will do 12, and I use it all the time on the road every day, why would I be interested in having that Cobra 29? Well, I could do a lot with that radio that I could do on there. Now that one may have more features. See, now you're saying, well, this doesn't have sideband. The President Washington does. That's a viable excuse to have that radio preferred, but maybe you're just an AM person. Maybe you get on channel 19, you talk to your guys. Do you really need to have a radio that does 10 to 12 meters with sideband? No, you don't. And that's why a lot of those guys on CB have it figured out. They don't buy all this crap they don't need, right? They buy what's good for them. So I know people are getting angry, but like I said, YouTube has told me that the algorithms, we're going to put your video into timeout corner because you have nothing interesting on your thumbnail. Beware. You have nothing catchy in your title. Is this what you really need? Watch for more. And I don't hook them till the end of the video. And if you don't do those three things, YouTube says algorithms, they watch the first 100 people that click that video, and how many people tune out in 3 minutes? It ain't worth it. And they put it in the little timeout corner back here and nobody sees it. So I'm not going to do stupid thumbnails. I'm not going to make stupid titles, but I'm going to try to get my word out, and this is how I do it. I'm really a nice guy. I don't get mad at the radio at all. I'm doing this so you can share the video and tell people, and hopefully I can change somebody's opinion on why you don't need to buy that radio if it's not in your interest. Like the 7300 Mark II. Okay, so HDMI out port. I don't need an external display. 70 megahertz, not legal in the US. So will it be? Hey, when it's legal one day in the US, maybe I'll think about getting a radio that will do it. Coincidentally, that radio will do it because it's modded, Mars mod. So I could transmit on there on 70 megahertz, but whatever. Do you see where I'm getting? I hope this video just brings a little bit of insight without you thinking I'm angry or some weird curmudgeon. But a radio doesn't make the operator better. I'll leave it with this. You know why I don't go on 20 meters anymore? I haven't. That video's coming too. There's a lot of people down in the extra and some of the general portions, and you'll hear that guy. As soon as you tell him that you're using a 706 Mark II-G or you're using an FT450 to 100 watts, his 1500 watt legal limit digital auto-tuning amplifier, solid state, with his Anon 200, with his $4,000 Lexicon and his $800 mic and his foot switch. And as soon as you tell him your QRP with a Chinese radio, the guy, oh, I think, yeah, well, enjoy your little QRP. We're going to move along. And that guy's got that timer 10 minutes. He's going to sit on that mic for 10 minutes and talk. He wants to be that in the hobby. I don't choose to be that in the hobby. Could I be that in the hobby? But the truth of the matter is, all that stuff is not making him a better operator. It's knowing what you can do with what radio and pushing the limits and experimenting to ham radio. That's what makes you a better operator. Not buying a radio that's brand new and making a reservation for it and waiting 6 months for DX Engineering to release this radio, for it to come $900 later onto your desk to find out you're talking to the same damn guy that's been on that repeater since 1987 and you're not making any better contacts on D-Star. Does that make sense? Hope I got the point across. Tell me in the comments below what radio you like. Are you using an FT450? Have you made most of your contacts on an FT100D in your mobile? Have you made a decision that you're not buying the new 7300, that you're buying an FTDX 3000? Terrific radio, great receiver. Let me know in the comments about this. And if you don't like what you see, unsubscribe, never watch again. Skip the thumbs down, because that helps me. It tells me engagement. If you really don't like it, just click unsubscribe or just tune out, never watch again. I'm only here to help the hobby, and this is how I have to get my views across. 7-3.
Ham Radio Concepts is brought to you by HamRadioPrep.com. It's never been easier to learn about ham radio before you take the exam. And Ham Radio Prep makes it fun and guarantees your success. Visit HamRadioPrep.com. Use the code ERIC20 to instantly save 20% off every course you buy. Remember the name, HamRadioPrep.com.